Uncertainty, interest, and gambling are the three main reasons why scholars say insurance is impermissible. So we're going to be getting into each one of those reasons and breaking down how you can create halal insurance for yourself. Assalamu alaikum everybody, Jesse here with Canadian Islamic Wealth. As I mentioned, we are going to be talking about insurance today and whether or not it is halal. And we're going to be getting into some of the reasons scholars give for why it is impermissible and showing you how you can create insurance for yourself that is in fact halal. But before I get into it, guys, I work really hard on this channel to make sure that you guys have the best halal financial advice possible. So make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so that you can come back for more videos. One disclaimer before I get started talking about anything is that in this context, I am specifically talking about voluntary insurance. I'm talking about life insurance, I'm talking about disability insurance, I'm talking about critical illness insurance. I'm not talking about things that are considered to be a necessity, like auto insurance or homeowners insurance, things that are required for you to have by law in Canada. So let's start with the different concepts that scholars quote as reasons why insurance is impermissible. So the first one is uncertainty. One of the biggest things that scholars have a problem with when it comes to insurance is the fact that it deals in excessive amounts of uncertainty. This is what your typical insurance policy looks like. Let's take an example of term life insurance. A typical term life insurance policy will say that you pay us $20, $30, $40 a month and we will insure your life for $500,000. Now, if you die within this 20-year period, we will pay that $500,000 to your beneficiaries. If you don't die within this 20-year period, we are going to keep all your money, but you have the option to renew and pay us even more money so that the next 20 years when you're certainly closer to death, if you die, we'll pay out then, but if you don't die again, we're going to keep all of your money. So, term life insurance is one of those things that financial advisors typically will recommend to people who are new to working, who are relatively young, who have a family that maybe if they die unexpectedly, they're going to be without income. Less than 5% of those policies ever end up paying out. Why? Because insurance takes so much big data and so much information, and they know for a fact that if they issue 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 of these policies, less than 1 to 2% of those claims will ever have to be paid. And so when scholars see this, they look at it and say, okay, well, you know, there's a huge level of uncertainty in the fact because we don't know when we're going to die, and there's a huge level of uncertainty in what's going to happen with our money. We are either going to get that payout for our family when we die, or it's going to be gone. So this level of uncertainty is too much, and the grand majority of scholars say that this makes insurance impermissible. Another issue that they cite as being problematic for the grand majority of insurance policies is the fact that they deal in interest. And I've said this before in other videos that all you have to do is look at the reports for the grand majority of insurance companies and it will show you how your premiums are used. Meaning if you sign up for that term 20 policy that I mentioned before, every single premium that you pay will go into a pool, and that pool of money will get invested by the insurance company. And if you look at the holdings, the vast majority of the holdings are in bonds, are in interest-bearing securities, and are in haram investments. So you can't know for sure how that money is going to be used. You can only speculate that because of the reports that they fill out themselves, that it's being invested in an impermissible way. So the two biggest issues that scholars seem to have is the uncertainty and the fact that you're dealing in interest. And if you do look and do your research, both of those things are valid opinions. Now, the third issue that most scholars do quote as a reason why you're not allowed to take insurance is gambling. And in my point of view, this is a really, this isn't a very good take. What is gambling? When we look at gambling, it's typically somebody putting up a sum of money in order to win a larger amount of money, but they're having the chance of losing everything. If you look at the grand majority of casino games, if you look at the grand majority of sports betting, different things like that, you're putting up a certain amount of money, $10, $20, $50, $100, and you are hoping to win a larger amount of money. But if you don't win, all that money goes, right? When it comes to insurance, what's really happening is insurance is a tool of loss prevention, right? So and I understand where scholars make the mistake, right? They say, okay, this guy puts up $100, he dies tomorrow, he gets $500,000. But let's think about it from a logical perspective. Really what this person is doing is they are and an insurance advisor, what they ought to be doing is doing something called a needs analysis. And when a needs analysis gets done, they look at how much income this guy should earn over the next 10, 15, 20 years to provide for their family. And they come up with a number, 100,000, 200, 300, 500,000, whatever that amount ends up being. And then they make a recommendation on what type of insurance you should get based on that. So if you look at the overall concept, what's really happening is it's a tool of loss prevention. If this person dies unexpectedly, their income goes. But had they remained alive and continued to work the job that they did work, they would earn maybe $500,000 over the next 10 years or 20 years or whatever the case may be. So really what's happened here is that it's prevented that level of loss, and you've actually lost money in the transaction in the sense that you've paid extra to have this amount for your family. So I don't think that the gambling definition or the gambling problem holds that much weight when it comes to discussing the issue of insurance. So really what I think that we need to focus on are the issues of uncertainty and the issues of interest. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a couple of scenarios and options that I think can benefit you when it comes to looking at insurance in a halal way. And these are two types of insurance that avoid interest and uncertainty. So what are the two types of insurance policies that you can use that might be permissible? Well, when it comes to life insurance, I think the biggest issue that most scholars seem to have is with the issue of uncertainty and with the issue of interest. When it comes to the issue of uncertainty, none of us know when we are going to die. But we all know that it is a guaranteed fact that we are going to die. It says, every soul will taste death, and we test you with evil and with good as a trial, and to us you will be returned. So, brothers and sisters, it is a certainty guaranteed by the Quran that we are all going to die. So if you sign up for a permanent insurance policy, you're not in a situation where you are dealing with uncertainty. You're paying a certain amount into the insurance policy, and at some point it is going to pay out the amount that it promised. Now, the other main issue that a lot of scholars have a problem with is the issue of interest. And so once again, if we look at a specific type of life insurance policy, what I typically use for clients is something called universal life insurance. And the reason I use it is twofold. Number one is that we can set it up in a way where it is, of course, permanent. So what you pay into it, eventually it's either going to pay out, or you are going to create an investment inside of it where you get to choose the investment. So you can choose a halal investment, and you can cancel it and get all your money back at a certain point. So this eliminates the two issues of interest and uncertainty. You're either going to get the payout, or you're going to get all your money back that's been invested by investments of your choice, halal investments. The second halal option that, in my opinion, is okay to take would be something called a critical illness insurance policy. Now, critical illness insurance is something that if you get cancer, heart attack, or a stroke, it'll pay you a certain amount of money. And most critical illness insurance policies work the exact same way as term life insurance, in the sense that if you pay into it for a certain period of time, if you get sick, they'll give you a certain amount. But if you don't get sick, they keep all your money. However, with some types of critical illness insurance policies, you can set up something called a return of premium rider. So instead of the insurance costing you maybe $40, $50 a month, now it might cost you $70, $80 a month. But at the end of the period of time, you either get sick and it'll pay you out the amount that you've signed up for, or you'll get all your money back. Now, with this specific type of policy, the premiums you put in are kept in cash. And so it doesn't get invested, it doesn't earn any interest, and whatever you've put in that time, you're going to get back exactly what you put in, not a penny more. So with both the universal life insurance plan and the critical illness plan, it avoids the two major issues that scholars seem to have when it comes to insurance. And that is the fact that it doesn't deal in any type of interest, and it's guaranteed in a sense that you're either going to get the payout or you're going to get all of your money back. So the vast majority of insurance policies, from what I've seen and in my opinion, do not meet those types of criteria. So if you are of the camp that believes insurance is haram, those are the two main reasons why. And for the most part, the insurance policies out there do not meet those two reasons of criteria. But the concept of insurance isn't a problem, right? Most scholars just take issue with the fact that insurance deals in those two haram areas: uncertainty and interest. So if you are someone who is looking for an insurance policy, if you want a little bit of extra help trying to keep your insurance as halal as possible, you can reach out to us, CanadianIslamicWealth.com, and we'll try to help set you up with some type of halal insurance program. Now, once again, and the last thing I will say, there of course is a difference of opinion, and let's be respectful of those opinions. There are some scholars that of course will say insurance is haram no matter what, and no matter what reasons we give. There are also scholars that say insurance is completely halal and fine. Ultimately, I'm going to leave it up to you to make the decision that is best for you and best with your family. And all of this is based on our own research and our findings and conversations with scholars and imams and different things like that. Ultimately, it is up to you to make that decision. And ultimately, we are simply trying to help the Muslim community when it comes to these issues. I hope this helps. Jazakallah khair.